Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today I'd like to show you how I made this card. This is a card that I found both on Pinterest, and then I also found a woman, and her name was Dee Dee Tibke, T-I-B-K-E. And did a similar card to this same basic design, and this is my take on that card, but I did want to give Dee Dee some credit there. And I don't think she's got a YouTube channel. I didn't find one, but you might find her designs on Pinterest. Okay, so let's just get started. It's a beautiful little Valentine, and it is really kind of a fun one. It opens this way, and then there's some other decorations on the inside. So it's a very fun little different fold, and this little heart here holds down the card and holds it together. So what we're going to need to make this this card is we start out with a regular card base that is 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. Then I cut this piece down, and what I did was I took my score mark here, and from the fold I came over 3 1/4 inches and I lopped this piece off. And when that piece comes off, you're left with something like this. And what I suggest you do, let me show you the dies and the stamps that we're using here. The only stamping on this card is this Happy Valentine's Day small little feature here on the bottom, and it's from the Forever Lovely stamp set, photopolymer set, right down here at the bottom. There's simple little Happy Valentine's Day. Lovely set. We'll do more with this as time goes on. And then I used the Be Mine framelets. And the framelets, I used this die here. Let me show you. I used this one, which is this beautiful filigree heart. And that is what gives us this filigree heart on the front. Then I used this little stitched heart, and that is the one to keep the card closed. And then we used, get it out of here, I used this die, and it cuts the frame that creates the decoration for the inside, and then as the result of that you get all of these little hearts cut out. So I put 3 of them on here, and I thought it would be kind of a fun thing to do with this card is to take all of your little extra cut out hearts and put them, sprinkle them in your envelope to go to whoever it is you're taking this to. So that's what I used, and I've already done my cuts. So now we have a piece that is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and this front flap is cut down to 3 1/4. So let me just put these dies away before I can't remember what I did with them, and get that out of the way. And I've already done my cuts. So here is my filigree heart. Here's my little heart. Here is my heart frame. And then all of my little hearts that cut out when you cut this piece out. So it's kind of a fun thing. And the only thing I'm going to do a little differently is in this paper, which is the paper that's called All My Love, which is absolutely stunningly beautiful. I am using the lighter of this pattern for this card, and I used the darker that has the crumb cake on the back of this one. So let's just get started, and we'll get this card pulled together. So here is my frame, and the first thing we're going to do, oh, you need one other piece. Yes, you need another, well, you need another piece, and I cut these 2 3/4 by 4. And you need one for the layering here, and then you need one to cut out your other two hearts here. So you can just use scrap for that. And then you need a piece of white that is 8.5 by 3 and scored at 4 1/4. And so what we're going to do is just go ahead and score this white piece, and this is our little inner card. Now, this point, it's pretty much assembly. It's pretty fast once you have your card pieces cut. Let's assemble this piece. So the very first thing that's going to happen is this one is going to layer on here, and we're just going to use some snail to do that. So snail on this piece, and we're going to set this down so that it has a border all the way around. And then this piece of the designer series paper is cut 2.5 by 3 3/4, and this piece is going to nest right in here. So we'll go ahead and get that piece layered in. Can't get my snail going the way I want to today. So the paper isn't directional, but there, depending on where you cut it, sometimes it looks better one way than the other. So there we go. Layer that one in there. Then this piece very simply layers on the front panel that's left. And this piece is cut 3 inches by 4 inches. So we're using very little designer series paper, so you can make quite a few cards with one package. This layers right here on the front. And I don't know if I said, but my card base is lovely lipstick. And of course, all of the information, the measurements and the pieces and everything are always listed right below the video. And then within a couple days, I'll have it up on my blog. Okay, so there we go. Now, the only thing about placement of this card in here is that it's really important not to get this much further in than about 1/2 inch, because when this closes, you want to make sure that you can put your heart, that it'll fit to hold this down. So I would say, well, let's see exactly what is that. That is about, well, I guess it's like 3/8 of an, no, yeah, 3/8 of an inch to the inside. Okay, so then we're going to put some snail on the back of this white card. And we're going to place this one on the inside here. And we said about that far. And then you can use your grid paper to help you kind of get that centered there. That looks pretty good right there. Now you can, of course, measure and put some little pencil marks to make absolutely sure you get it in there and it's straight. But I think I eyeballed it and I think it's okay. Now, on this little piece, what you're going to need to do is put some dimensionals. And since it's going to sit down here, you need your dimensionals on this side. So I put one large one here because if it gets opened a lot, I want to make sure it stays put. And then I used a mini dimensional just below it here to hold it in place. Okay, and then that piece is ready to go on your card right here, and you can set it so that it will be high enough and far enough in to capture the edge of your card, and there it holds it just fine. Okay, so now on the inside of the card, what we're going to do is take this piece, and I'm going to use a dot runner. I find that that works a little simpler. And just make sure I get a little bit of glue. If you do this on your silicone mat, the glue has a tendency to stick where it's supposed to and not stick where you don't want it. And then just lay this down across here. Isn't that just pretty? It's just such a nice surprise to open and find that. Then I took one of the larger hearts and put a little bit of glue on it here, and then a medium heart, and put some glue on it. Oops, that wants to climb up into my tape runner. And put a medium heart here next to it, and then I took one of the smallest hearts here and got a little bit of glue on it and put it into place right there. Isn't that just pretty? And then close this. Now, the last thing we need to do as far as adhering things is the filigree heart, and that's the same thing. I would use a dot runner, and again, when you put your glue on this way, just make sure you get your points and your ends, and then this can come right here on the edge. Then I have the last piece that was part of this kit, is a kind of a strip of lovely lipstick so that we can put our sentiment down. So what we're going to do is use the embossing buddy here and get this covered. And then I have my Versamark here, and I have my stamp, and it says Happy Valentine's Day. And I'm going to put some Versamark on my Happy Valentine's Day here. All right, quiet the video again, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm much happier with that result. All right, so now I'm going to use this, and I can't remember the name of the punch, but I'll put it on the video for you. And again, I'm going to use a little Post-it note handle here. This is a very small piece of paper. And get that put in here and punch out my sentiment. Okay, so there we have our sentiment, and what I'm going to do is put that up on a couple of small dimensionals here. And put that in place on my card. And then I think this is a place that we will put a couple of rhinestones around this card. And so I'm going to put a little bit larger one, I think, on this in the center of my filigree heart. I think that's just so pretty. And then I'm going to sprinkle a couple of these smaller ones just around on the card here. So maybe one over here, maybe one right down here. Oops. And maybe one more right up in here. And there we go. That is the project for the day. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And isn't that pretty? I think, boy, I like them both. You'll have to let me know which one you like better, but I think they're both gorgeous. And I just love the closure. It's kind of fun. And then we have these little hearts left that you can sprinkle into your envelope, and that I think will make a nice decoration, or you could glue a few of those down on your envelope before it leaves. Anyway, that's my project for today. Again, thank you for stopping by, and I'll have all of this and more pictures up on my blog in a couple of days. And let's see, everything you see here you can purchase on my website, www.lbedinger.stampinup.net, or on my blog, www.inkandingenuity.com. And let's see, the prize for the month of January is a $50 shopping spree on me out of the Occasions catalog. That should be kind of fun. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator, and or you could join my team. The join offer this month is outstanding. It is $175 worth of product for $99. And then you have an opportunity also to buy a craft tote for an additional $50. But you sure don't have to do that. You can just do the $175 for $99, which is a wonderful deal. And if you would like to chat about it, my number is always listed below the video. I'd love to have the conversation with you and kick it around. So thanks again for stopping by, and I'll be back soon with more cards and more projects. Bye.